Good morning, my name is Benjamin Mohler. I'm a paleontologist, and I have this thing where I get older but just never wiser. Midnights become my afternoons. Today is day 9 on the Menefee expedition, and the team is once again returning to the same area to work on multiple sites that are within walking distance but still fairly scattered. So you may be wondering how it is that the skeletons of turtles and dinosaurs and so forth can be spread out across such a large area. And the answer is that, well, first of all, they're not always from the same individual. Fossils are being buried in this area over a period of hundreds of thousands to maybe even millions of years. So there's many different individuals that are being buried in these basins over time. And so it's not always likely that all the bones from one individual are going to be recovered, or even 2 or 3 bones from the same individual. It tends to be kind of a jumble. However, even in cases where we know there is a singular skeleton, it can still scatter over a fairly wide area. The study of the fossilization process and how bones are transformed and transported during fossilization is called taphonomy. And you can see taphonomy happening in real time here in the Menefee Formation because there are still animals living and dying in this area. There's actually 2 different horse skeletons fairly close to our excavation sites that have been skeletonized. So the flesh and the skin and the fur has been stripped. They've probably been sitting out here for months at this point. And as they've been exposed to the surface, the bones have been bleached white. You can see in certain places where they're starting to fray because of the stress that solar radiation and the dryness and the wind are causing the bone to flake apart. So even though these things haven't been buried yet, they're already breaking apart. Some things are still holding together. You can see that keratin, such as on horse hooves, actually tends to stick around a little while longer. So if these were to be buried rapidly, there's a chance that maybe some soft tissue could be preserved. But as of now, they've basically been skeletonized and disarticulated, meaning that most parts of the body have been taken apart. There are portions of the rib cages and the legs that are still together, but also you have lots of little ribs that have been scattered around. Sometimes that's done by predators. A lot of the time it's done just by regular erosional forces. Wind and water will blow things around and tend to drag things from higher areas down to lower areas. So when we're looking for the remains of even one individual dinosaur, the odds of us finding all of it, given it could be, ranging from high to low across tens of square meters, the odds aren't exactly great. And so this is why, as we're digging up bones that are buried in the same area, we have to move over quite a large space. So it's really special and rare when we have bones that are articulated, that are still in life position, or even bones that just haven't moved that far. So we're going to check up on some of those sites and show you some brand new, freshly exposed fossils.
That is, because you protected your shell. Cover him up.
Could I have one more just
Okay, here's what you want to do.
like to
All the way around, about halfway down, so you don't have to go lower than that. And you're just trying to protect that.
correct?
And then this right here.
Yeah, because I don't know how far down this is going,
Well,
if there's something
I'm
underneath.
So yeah,
Got a nice long dinosaur limb bone on the ground here. It goes from here all the way down to this side. It's not pretty because the surface has been exposed, but once this is dug out, the underside will hopefully be complete because this stuff doesn't seem to have moved much. And there's a little bit more bone here in the ground right there.
take that smaller bone
That little piece that appeared right there turns out to go way back. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, it's been super fun.
Did it again. Now what's this tool you've got right here?
So this is called Maria.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up this big pick a few years ago, and I decided just calling it the big pick was too confusing in the bone bed, but everybody knows who Maria is now.
Yeah, Maria's been a staple since a while.
2018?
Featured on Harley's Curve. Helped take out a Tyrannosaur, and it's gonna help take out, this big long dinosaur bone right next to this big long dinosaur bone.
There's these little bits out of it.
There it is. Freshly exposed bone surface. That would be that orange stuff if you're having a hard time telling against the gray. Sounds like lunchtime.
Nice little crusted gypsum on top.
Down at the fishing hole, we've got our remaining project has a open temporary cap on top. This isn't sufficient for moving yet, but we're going to put the final jacket on. Hopefully it's the last thing we do today. We've got entrenched all the way around, and so we're ready to focus on some other stuff and pay our electric bills.
Ben?
Yep.
Are we still on for a plaster?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
Don't
do
get-
that.
Don't get too caught up in Tim's euphoria.
Plastering begins at the fishing hole. Make me proud, guys.
Let's see, yeah, that's a right tibia. And,
What's your diagnosis, doctor?
yeah. We can do nothing for it.
It's not gonna live.
So what we have here is a femur and a tibia, some kind of dinosaur, very close to each other. That's the distal end of the femur, that's the proximal end of the tibia. That's what we call semi-articulated. They're not exactly in life position, but they're not very far off.
Excellent. Excellent way to conclude my little taphonomy lesson for today. Here's some pieces of plant that came out of that too. Some coniferous leaf, and then another broadleaf that's actually preserved in 3 dimensions and is folded weirdly. So this is where the mudstone cracked, pulled out just like that. It's been an exciting day with a lot of really cool stuff turning up, but the clouds behind me are looking a little bit sketchy, and we do not want to be in here when it rains, and we certainly don't want to be here when it thunders. So we're going to start packing everything up and cross our fingers that nothing gets too waterlogged overnight. See you guys tomorrow.